just to add that I'm always amazed with the way how Tura is presenting her leadership skills and the how she manages to get the attention. So feel free to ask any questions that you will have, and that's it from my side.
Thank you, Alexander. So
Thank
maybe
you, Alexander. Yeah, may
yes,
I take
please.
over, Tura?
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Alexander, and thanks in particular Tura for joining here and giving this presentation, and Alexander for organizing this. This is the second in hopefully a longer series of tech talks given by Ericsson experts. And we are very happy to have Ms. Tura Hatim Al-Jubori here. Bear with me, I did try to give a good approximation of the name and of the spelling. From Ericsson, Poland. She's an expert in 5G evolution, in standalone evolutions, in network performance assessment and benchmarking. And she currently is the network performance and evolution lead for all over European and Latin America for Ericsson. And as we heard, she's a very skilled and good and enthusiastic presenter, as Alexander said. And she also won a number of awards, among them the award for the top 15 women in 5G, which is very nice that such a award exists. And we are looking very much forward to this talk on an introduction to 5G from a radio perspective, which is a different perspective that we had last time. A number of people at the University of Klagenfurt joined here, students and professors, and we are very much looking forward to what Tura is presenting. And I think the virtual stage is yours now, Tura. Thank you very much.
That's great. Thank you for the great introduction. Yes, my name is Dura Hatim. I'm working as a network performance and 5G evolution lead for Europe and Latin America, and also focusing on all the 5G evolution and network planning and performance. As you mentioned, I was glad to be awarded as a top 15 women in 5G in Women in Tech. And also I'm supporting all young women to take a strong role in the future 5G and be and having a great vision also to support the technology and the evolution. Today, I will take you through my presentation, and we will have a couple of videos because I try to make it more interactive, and you can have this helicopter view about 5G and 5G use cases. And as well as I will take you to our virtual system that you can see 5G equipment and in a 3D shape. And as well as we will go through all the components. Please later on feel free to ask me questions. And if you need also more deep dive in a specific topic, I'm also here to support you all the time. So please feel free also to talk to Alexander to organize the things that you feel that you need to go through it deeper. Okay, so with that, let us get started. I will just put my presentation in a presentation mode. Yes, can you see my full screen?
Yes.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, so today I will take you through the agenda, and our agenda for today's presentation will be a 5G global view and let us say overcap quickly for the 5G principles. And then we will go for 5G network and the traffic forecast, especially from Ericsson point of view and the Ericsson mobility report, what we are seeing as a 5G forecast and the traffic growth till 2026. And as well as we'll take you very quickly through 5G global use cases, and we will see very nice video, especially what 5G can contribute in the education part. And then we will go through our virtual system that I can show you all the 5G radio platform and the portfolio, and we can see the latest product in virtualized 3D way. Then I will also give a space to you to collect all your questions, and we start to answer them one by one. With that, let us get started. First of all, I would like just to overcap and quickly brief for you for 5G principle and background. As all of us know that 5G have been introduced in 3GPP release 15 to address the increasing demand for the lower latency and wider bandwidth, and also more connected device. Far beyond the capability and the capacity that we are seeing in our existing network. And we know that 5G focus on mainly three scenarios, as I put in your right-hand side, the triangle, which we are focusing for the lower latency URLLC, and also enhanced mobile broadband, eMBB, and we have massive machine type of communication, MMTC. The purpose of that, we need always to enhance user experience through technical evolution and revolution. And we know that we have a different cases addressing different component of this triangle, and we can see it together in the coming pages. With that, I would like just to give you an overview what's the current status of Ericsson in 5G global experience. As you can see, we are proudly have 104 live network 5G across more than 460 countries. And from the live network, we have 168 commercial agreement that going to be in the live network soon. For sure, in 5G, we are addressing different frequency band. As you can see in this bubble colors, for example, the first bubble, which is for the blue one, we are covering 5G for the FDD band, different band combination that the operator have it currently in different countries. And also the green bubble, as you can see, is the mid band, which we are also supporting different frequency range that operator had. And we have for the purple one a high band, and more we are supporting that with our millimeter wave. In mid band, we are also supporting all the component and equipment. And get excited because you will see all the equipment in the coming duration. For the black bubble, we have the core network, which is the country that we cover 5G core network. And here we are proud because we know that 5G core with standalone, and we have also many cases with the standalone core that we just remark it for you in the black color. So you can see we are covering North America, we are covering a lot of countries in Europe, almost all countries in Europe. We are covering Northeast Asia, Middle East and Africa, and also Southeast Asia and Latin America. And with that, I feel that we need to go through very nice video to show what's the differences between 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G, but in very attractive way, so we can see it together. Can you see my video screen? I think just a moment. Maybe I need to share the second screen. Okay. Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
That's awesome. Yes.
We don't hear audio.
Can you hear the audio? Sorry,
No.
Okay, thank you for telling me. So let me click the bottom of the audio because it's need manual select. Okay. Okay. Can you check now? Okay.
Yes, we hear it.
3G, 4G. They've all revolutionized the way we live our lives. And Ericsson has been leading the way. So when it comes to 5G, it's easy to think it's just another G. Well, it's not. With 5G, things will be faster, and we mean a lot faster. With global mobile data traffic doubling every 18 months, the world's demand for high-speed connectivity increases every second. And that's where 5G comes in, by efficiently providing the capacity for massive data growth. So what does this mean for you? It means high-speed connections for everyone always. Fast and uninterrupted sharing, streaming, and browsing, so that you'll never have to fight for data, no matter the competition. But it's not only about speed. 5G will reduce latency to a minimum, making delays virtually impossible to proceed. It means elevating reality even further. It means fiber speeds without fiber at home, for everyone everywhere. And with network slicing technology, every connected service can get its own unique part of a 5G network, fully dedicated and guaranteed for each specific purpose. It means the Internet of Things on an industrial scale, making society more sustainable, increasing resource efficiency, connecting vehicles to get there both faster and safer. It means protecting the most vulnerable road users, detecting accidents before they happen, and helping save lives with dedicated networks for critical services. With Ericsson's leading 5G technology paving the way, the full potential of connectivity is becoming reality. Join us. Let's explore 5G.
That's great. I will back to my presentation. Just a sec. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, you see.
That's great. Okay, after we saw the differences between 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G, and also what's the benefit we are gaining from 5G, now it's nice to have more global view and also forecasted view, how we are seeing the 5G technology will be increased with the time from now till 2026. As you can see from Ericsson 5G mobility report or our mobility report for the technology and evolution forecast, we are expecting the increasing demand starting from 2019, 2020 till 2026 and 2027 with a huge growth of the 5G connection, and we will have more use cases and good traffic support for the 5G network. Here also, as you can see in my graph, I will just put the pointer so we can together. Yes, as you can see here, the traffic increase and the connection to the 5G is starting more and more. And for sure, with the supporting of other technology, it's also kind of another big layer and giving us more opportunity for new things and new use cases. What we are seeing also in 5G, because we know the traffic demand, and especially for the video, because video traffic demand is increasing too much. And this increasing demand with the lower latency, it will be only the possible way to guarantee the user performance that we are going to more strong technology that can give you higher throughput and also can give you lower latency in order to maintain very good user experience for you when you are browsing videos, when you are in stadium watching games or watching football match or a lot of cases that we will see it later. So the only technology can give you this high capacity and as well as lower latency and trying to give you the best user experience is 5G network. And it's easy and simple because we can build this 5G network on top of your on top of operator existing network if they have 2G, 3G, 4G as another new layer to boost the traffic and new use cases that we needed in our future demand. So here our forecast, especially for the video, that the traffic will be increased for, especially for the video, 66 of the media traffic can be increased, and also 77, especially for the video, will increase till 2026. And as we mentioned before, this video demand and another demand, we will see it in the use cases, only can cover with the 5G technology. Here we are seeing if we have the strong demanding of the video, as you can see in this graph, which contains 77%, comparing to other like web browsing or audio or social networking and some other software, it's considered very critical for the operator, because if we keep on 5G and if we keep on 4G network, this huge demand for the traffic cannot cope with the current existing situation and network network. That's why also the way of the thinking of the 3GPP standardization, the huge demand, the forecast, we need to have a 5G network as soon as possible for the most of the operator. Let us look at how Ericsson see in our mobility report that how we are seeing 5G subscription will increase. So with our latest mobility report, we are forecasting to have 5G subscription reach to 4.4 billion in 2027. As well as we expect also we will have more than 180 providers over all the globe that they need to launch 5G network. But here with that, let us just start to think about the frequency, because we have the 5G spectrum deployment, and as well as we can see the combination of the different frequency from the operator, it can be maintained together. It's mean if I'm an operator, I already have 2G, 3G, 4G network, 5G will add another capacity boost and lower latency use cases on top of your existing network. So you will not withdraw the legacy, rather than you are trying to give this high boost of the capacity and lower latency to the users with introducing a new layer of the 5G. And as we can see here, 5G network is operating in mid-band and also in high band. Mid-band started from 3.5 gigahertz to 8, and also for the high band from 24 to 40. And we will see together later on different equipment designed especially for the operator with the different frequency that they can get from the government, because we know that the government is distributing the frequency and the operator need to took this frequency from the government. Based on this frequency, we will cooperate with the operator to provide a RAN solution which can give us all the capacity, and it will translate to the end user, to you. When you are using your mobile phone, you can see even in your mobile phone 5G icon, and from this 5G icon, you know that you have very high throughput, you know you will have lower latency, and you know you will be able in the future to enjoy a lot of VR, AR, and other use cases that we can see. So as we mentioned together, because the road on our 5G, it's a start to reboost 4G network, and with providing more high capacity, and as well as 4G and 5G network can cooperate and interworking together. Even if the operator have a less or limited frequency, we can integrate them together as we call it Ericsson spectrum sharing, because we can intercooperate together all the supported legacy band and the frequency in order to provide you a new layer of 5G experience. And together, most of the operator thinking even in the future, in the 2022 and also coming forward, they are going for the 5G standalone deployment, because in 5G standalone deployment, we have a lot of advantage with the network slicing. And with network slicing and maintaining every slice, if you see in our video, we maintain the experience for every slice. So the operator can give a lot of new services to the enterprise, to the banks, to the a lot of entity, we call it B2B, business to business, and they can maintain every slice experience and also services to the enterprise, not only to the normal users. So you can see here the 5G will also boost the business to the operator, because they can support more enterprise sector, banking, factories, ports, and education, medical, and so on. And as well as by providing and maintaining in every slice of 5G standalone the experience, we are sure 100% that we have high throughput, we have lower latency, and we are providing more business to the operator, not only to cover the consumer, while we are also giving them a new opportunity for business to business. And then we can see in our mainstream, we will have more 5G densification, because we will have more use cases, we will have more need and demand for the 5G network. Then operator will go in the future with the 5G as mainstream. And as we are seeing also the vision in the future, and we are happy and glad after 2030, we will have maybe also 6G introduction. And that's showing us that how the evolution for the technology is quickly and fast, and also our life demand and our artificial intelligence, machine learning, all other things that providing better services to the human. With that, I think we can a little bit deep dive with the 5G radio access. As I'm trying to show you how we are integrating the evolution of the 4G with the 5G together, because we are trying to reuse the spectrum with the spectrum sharing functionality. ESS, Ericsson Spectrum Sharing, can maintain to use both 4G and 5G. You will ask me why, how, and how we do that. Because sometimes not all the people supporting 5G device, and some of us supporting only 4G. So in case we have Ericsson spectrum sharing, which we are sharing the same spectrum, but we are enabling to technology 4G and 5G, if your phone or if more phones under the network supporting 4G, so the network will switch to more 4G capability to support your demand. If you are also having 5G terminal support and more 5G device under the network, we will have more 5G experience and more 5G technology involving in that. With that, we can see, thanks to our dual connectivity, as we are mentioning, the technology evolutions, that we will have interconnect, that 2G, that 4G and 5G working together, and also with the carrier aggregation and user plane aggregation, we can integrate both technology together. So 5G come to complement what we are doing now, but with the new demand, with the new increasement of the traffic, with the better use cases that we needed in our life, especially in COVID situation. We know that we are more sitting in home, relying on the online study for the kids, and also maybe also with the medical, you need to have online with your doctor, or even in our work, in our conference, workshop, and so on. So all this is increasing the demand, and we see more urgency to deploy 5G network, because the traffic is a bottleneck with the current network. You need always to have a fast connection, no interruption, and you need to manage the business very well. And with here also, just for overview, as we mentioned, what's the 5G can give us as a use cases? Because when we divide the 5G to different use cases in the first page of our triangle, we saw that we have enhanced mobile broadband. What's the meaning of enhanced mobile broadband? Enhanced mobile broadband, we will have more support to the throughput and lower latency in home. And we will have also a lot of functionality for the enterprise. We call it fixed wireless access. So it's mean that you will have the experience in your home like you have fiber to home, but through wireless equipment. And that's also giving you all the possibility that you can have high experience without having fiber reaching to your home. So now 5G giving the capability, because not all the operator can dig the fiber reaching to every house and then try to give you a fiber connection, while here in 5G we consider it fixed wireless access, because it's giving you the experience with the lower latency, with high throughput, that the same that you can get from the fiber, even better because you have lower latency. And we know that enhanced mobile broadband that giving us the advantage for the virtual reality and augmented reality, VR and AR. And from also this VR and AR, we will have very nice gaming, virtual gaming. We will have a lot of things that we can do. I will come to that in the next slide. And as well as we will have high streaming, 4K and 8K HD video. So when I'm trying to enjoying my TV show, I will try to also have a better resolution, and I will have also better streaming. And as well as we have many cases in the broadcasting. So here we cover most of the cases, as you can see in this part, for the enhanced mobile broadband. While let us have a look for the massive IoT. Massive IoT include many new things that we will see it coming duration, like smart metering, smart home, and also smart logistic, especially for the ports and also for the management. I mean, the tracking management and so on. And other part, which is critical IoT. Critical IoT, we know that there is a new cases that the latency is really the main things that they needed, and it should be very low and very accurate. Like in the remote surgery, if there is a remote surgery, we know the error percentage should be almost close to zero. So in that case, for the critical IoT with the 5G, it's very important, especially if we have remote surgery case or remote training, or even for the safety control, traffic and safety control, as well as remote manufacture, because we have the robot, and the robot needs very low latency in order to maintain and manage the business. So in all industrial application, this is very important for us as a critical IoT. With that, I try to make the things with the picture more virtual for you. So you can see, for example, we spoke about the education, how the education and with the augmented reality is very important as a student. I mean, it's hard for you to go to the lab, or even the labs in the school cannot offer for you everything. So with augmented reality, you can see that, for example, if you need to see human bone and you need to see the structure, it's easy for you to wear the glasses and you will virtualize the things and you can just see it and you can study the things. Very important also for the kids for the kids, especially if they need to virtualize like dinosaur or some other things that you need them to learn what it is and how it's look like. As well as augmented reality, we feel it very important. You can see in the maintenance. We know that the operator, if they need to maintain the site is located in very far away, and as well as they cannot send too many people to there. So 5G also with augmented reality, they try to make the things easier, because you can send only one engineer to the site with this augmented reality glasses, and then connect it to the expert or team of experts, because it's maybe a lot of a problem in the site and we don't know which one, and we cannot send 10 people. We will send only one person. With augmented reality glasses, he can see the problem and they can give him exactly the instruction, which cable to move, how the board can be look like, and what's to exchange in order to make the things easier. So you can see that it will be involved in every single part of our life, as a maintenance, as a education, as well as the fun and the sport. If we need to have more interact gaming, as we are seeing in the virtual reality, especially with our teenager people, teenager people, that they need also to have a fun and more interactive with the game and so on. In the industry, which is very important, because we know like in the port, especially if we have a snow and cold weather and bad situation, it's very hard to let a human being do all the work in the port, and you need them just to sit in one control area. Then the 5G include the robot and include artificial intelligence. They can scan, they can do all the kind of the things that needed in the report, upload, or even all the things that you can imagine in the port. As well as in health, it's all can be covered and diagnosis with the health part. Okay, I took very quickly fast show. We will see you one cases in South Korea. South Korea very advanced deploying 5G almost nationwide, and they have really a huge traffic demand, and they build very nice use cases. So they use the 5G in B2C, which is business to consumer, and they are trying to introduce a lot of games to the end user with the 5G VR, and as well as they are trying also to introduce the smart gaming or cloud gaming, and a lot of things like song or even dancing, virtual dancing, and intelligent CCTV, and so on. Because this one is all cover the AR and the VR services. But we can move to the B2B, which is business to business. As we mentioned now, our operators can even have more cases because they can cover the factory with the robot, call it a smart factory, or even surveillance to put also camera with this high traffic on the uplink as well as in the downlink in order to put the camera and scanning the car plate everywhere. So if there is anything happen like car accident or even people cross the red light, immediately it can be discovered and it can read the plate very quickly and you cannot see the camera. So it's kind of, this is very intelligent CCTV with wireless camera, not fixed camera that they put it in certain location. Here we can see there is a lot of things related to a factory, or even we call it a heavy machine or a smart drone. If there is restriction in certain area and people, they cannot, let us say, we can assume one case. We have a COVID situation and this area cannot be entered to, people cannot enter this area, and you need to provide them food and also you need to provide them many things. So smart drone can take the things using the 5G wireless connection and then try to drop it close to their home, or even in any other cases that this one is very important as a smart drone services. With that, I will move you to quick video. This video, I try to focus on the education. So we will see together the augmented reality of the education, how it's look like. Then be excited because we will go to the last part, which is showing you the equipment, all radio equipment, and we can discuss more. So I will share the second screen in order to show you the video. Okay. I hope you can hear the voice.
Yes.
That's good.
Immersive education is a strong use case for 5G, particularly in the context of current lockdowns and homeschooling. Inception XR is doing what we call edutainment. They're combining elements of education and entertainment. It is reading and calculus, and on the other hand, immersive augmented reality content.
Our collaboration with Ericsson started as we both had a shared vision to try and see how can we create the best consumer use cases for 5G. So what we have done, we have developed a network adaptive engine that actually delivers different content depending on the type of environment you're in. What this means, if you take an example of one of our under the water scenes, if you're on 5G, you're seeing more fish, more coral, and this actually creates a much, much richer experience.
The network adaptive applications that Inception XR is building are the perfect fit for service providers who want to target 4G and 5G users with a single application and at the same time be able to differentiate the experience over 5G.
That's great. I will move to the presentation again. Okay, just quickly, because later on we will move to our virtualized system. As you can see in my screen that we will move to our another system. I will show you live a different component of our equipment, especially radio equipment. Then we will see that different frequencies supporting by different component in the network, and as well as we will see it as a 3D, and then we will see the specification. And later on, please collect your questions so we can brainstorm together to answer it. Okay, let me move to our system in a moment. Yes, can you see my screen?
Yes, we see the screen.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, here we can, I need to show you Ericsson radio system, but in the way that you can see the equipment as a 3D. As you can see here, we have the part of the massive MIMO because we are relying on the mid-band frequency. We have also millimeter wave. We have micro, which supporting for us FDD and the TDD, but different frequency range. We have indoor building system, which we call it RDS, radio DAS system, and also radio, dot system. And as well as we have some side solution because we need to support the site with the power and also component like enclosure and so on. We have run compute, which is the processor that can give us all the possibility with the connection of the radio system. And then there is a mobile transport and antenna. But I will try to take the most important part, which is massive MIMO. So let us get started with massive MIMO. You can see Ericsson provide different platform and the portfolio. It's depending also on the way or the scenario that you are deploying your 5G equipment. So if you need high capacity, that's in your urban area, downtown, city center, so you have a really powerful product can support your capacity boosting. And if you need in specific scenario that you need it compact between coverage and between capacity, also we have a platform to support that. As well as if you are in rural area or sub-rural area, you need more coverage or extending the coverage. Also, there is another portfolio to support. So we try in Ericsson to cover end-to-end all the scenario possible that the operator need. And with that, I will start with you with the latest Air Solution. We call it 3268. And maybe you can see if you visit Ericsson website, this is the lightest 5G product that Ericsson introduced, which is a 12 kilo only. And as you can see here from the shape, it's very light. And as well as I can just flip it for you over so you can see also the ports and the back, also the side, and also the front. And as you can see here in the specification, it's very lightweight. So if the operator need to deploy 5G on top of 2G and 3G and 4G network, they need just to plug this small component in their existing site, as well as we try to keep it as light as possible to not impact the site load. And here we are supporting different frequency. For sure, every operator has certain frequency range, and we are supporting different frequency range under one product. And as you can see, this one is supporting 32T, 32R, 32 TX and RX. And we support a new functionality called Enhanced CPRI. And also, there's very important point that 5G have more security component than previous technology, because we know that the security demand is increased and the awareness also increase. And then in 3GPP, there is a special standardization for the security of the 5G comparing to the 4G. So if we need to deploy 5G, we are more sure that it's more secure than previously legacy network. And if you would like also to deep dive on this part, as I'm part of the Security Master Program, I will be more than happy to give you more details if Alexander let me know that you are interested in. And then also we have the standardization, because here it's working as non-standalone, which is you are integrated with your legacy equipment, and also as standalone. And then you can see different component of the product have different output power, because with the output power, with the existing network, our team or even customer side team should design how to cover the network in the best possible way and also guarantee your good KPI. With that, I will also try to show you this interesting one. This called Interleave Air Solution 3237. Oops, system is kicking me out. Okay, now we are in. And here also we can see the specification of the integrated air. What's mean the integrated air? It's mean we are putting the passive equipment, which is normal legacy antenna, on top of the 5G. So you can have only one frame that can support both of them together in integrated way. And there is a lot of, for sure, specification, what kind of passive antenna we are supporting and what's the frequency range for the 2G, 3G, 4G that we can support on top of our 5G massive MIMO. With that, okay, let me back. Just a moment. Oops. Yes. Okay. With that, I will move you to the millimeter wave. Millimeter wave also the type of the 5G covering high band. And with this covering high band, we have different also component that's supporting the 5G network. But we know with the high band, because of the coverage will be not that big, so it's more covering the hotspot. So that's why we developed the product, especially indoor air solution, this product. And the one that it's really favorite to myself, to me, is the street micro. And I will let you deep dive on the street micro. Why I like this product? Because this product is combining the baseband unit with the radio unit integrated together in one box. So what you need, just to plug this component in the street, mounted in the street pole or wherever the scenario that you need, and you have whole site ready. So this one integrating everything together, power, baseband, and the air solution in one box. And this is the industry leading because no other vendor can have this kind of solution. And we are the only one have it, and it's deploying in US in massive way. With that, because I need to cover for you many things today, so we can together go to the micro. For the micro radio, we are supporting different components. And as you can see here, like 44R, like 2T2R, even 88R radio is available to support the network. And I will pick for you, for example, this radio, which is supporting 44R, and this one can support the 3G, 2G, 4G, and also 5G cable together. But here we need to focus that it's FDD radio, not TDD. So it's kind of the frequency that work on the FDD. And as you can see here, it's easy. We can flip it over. We can see also the ports, and then from the back, how the installation will be look like. With that, I need to show you something very nice because we know that the videos demand is 77% and even it will be increased way more in the coming duration. So what's the solution that Ericsson focus, especially for the indoor, to provide better user experience with this huge demand? Because most of the people who they are streaming video, they are located indoor, even indoor the shopping mall or even at the locations that indoor need more high capacity to serve such big demand. So with Ericsson, we just provide a new product called DOT, very small, very light. You can plug it everywhere, indoor building like your offices or even shopping malls or hotels or stadium. And then you are able to provide all the 5G services with a strong indoor connection. I will choose for you this one because maybe we can see it together. This is the indoor. You can see it's very, very small and light. And at the same time, you can just plug it on your roof ceiling and you can have all the possible connection with 5G experience indoor everywhere. We have a different product supporting different frequency and also output power. So why we have different output power? Because if the customer network demand high power, we can support high power. If the network demand or the design of the building need low power, we support another product with low power, as well as different frequency combination to support all the operators everywhere. Then with that, I would like to take you to the most important component. We call it our RAN processor. The structure of the network, and later on I will show you in another review, that we should have the baseband unit and then we should have the air unit. And with the baseband and with the air, we will complete all the 5G structure. So this strong processing unit can support all the possible throughput, latency, RRC connected users, and other things to the air, in terms also to give you the beamforming functionality. And also with the multi-user beamforming, we are tracing the user where it is and giving the dedicated beam to the certain user in order to make sure that high throughput and the 5G specification already reach to the maximum end user benefit. I will pick for you the latest processor, 6651. And from the 6651, as you can see, it's very light. It's 1U, okay? And at the same time, it can be deployed inside the power cabinet. And it's also, with the new processor, we try to make the things easy. So we try to integrate 4G and 5G at the same processing unit. And we are trying to provide more capacity and capability. For example, I'm an operator, have a 4G network, but I have very high traffic under my site. And as well as 4G network need to be expanded, plus I need to deploy 5G. So with that, I do not need to give them two processors. I need to give them one, which can increase the 4G capacity till the maximum. Then they can deploy 5G at the same time. So flexibility to the end, to the customer, is very important in our product design. So we design the product thinking that customer need to use the maximum of every technology, even the legacy one, 2G, 3G, 4G, and even the new one, the 5G. With the RAN processor, I need to show you overview for the whole portfolio. So you can see in this page, we have a product which can support high capacity, even if it's antenna system, even if it's radio, and I show you before the massive Mimo millimeter wave dot solution, and also the part of the micro normal radio, as well as the RAN processor, because we have a different type, some of them indoor, some of them can be wall mounted. And with that also we can complete with the transport, because the transport is very important component to reach to your core network, and as well as site solution, because we need to provide a power supply and also a lot of monitoring system, which can be included in this cabinet. And we can put this radio base, this baseband inside this power cabinet, or we can just have it separately. So the portfolio with Erikson having a capacity covering, we can see all the components we try to cover. We have also the compact one that it's showing more things that you need to install it indoor or outdoor or even on your street. So it's need to be compact and also good shaping, as well as providing the services and everything that operator need. And with the high coverage, because we are providing also solutions, include radio system or solar or some other diesel generators and so on, as a part from the site solution. So with this portfolio, we try to cover capacity layer, compact design, and also as well as coverage. And you can see this is whole portfolio connected to three main components, very important. Software, because we are trying in every software release to put a new function and possibility or even advanced way of the things that operator need. We have every quarter software release, and in every software release, we try to innovate something new, include artificial intelligence way of considering the traffic and try to manage the best user experience, or even other aspects from the 3GPP. We have the network management. This network management, the purpose that you have one entity can manage all your components, because every operator have 1,000 of the sites. But in that, you need only one management system. This management system can give you all the visibility on your radio equipment or even all your equipment in order to give you KPI, report, alarms, everything that you need in your network so you can easily manage with a small operational team. Services, in case the operator need Ericsson services in terms of installation or commissioning of the site, we are able to provide, or another high-level services like optimization, radio network planning, and even managed service. If the operator need, okay, Ericsson, please take over to manage all my equipment, I just need to see the good KPI from your side. We are able to have a managed service team that can manage all operator network, include radio, transport, core, and provide very nice performance to have a high result, especially in the new benchmarking tool. I think everybody hear about Omlot, Okla, and Totella, and also OpenSignal. This is all is third-party benchmarking tool trying to see the performance of the operator network and compare it with others. And this kind also of the benchmark tool is very important to the operator to have the best maintenance to the network, have a best KPI, and also it's trying to put latest technology as a 5G technology. Then they will get very high rank and they will be awarded as a best network in certain country. Okay, very quickly for the image to trying to see everything together, we can see that from the wall display, we are having all this component that it can cover everything in your network. We can put the things under the cabinet, or even we can just wall mounted it, and as well as the dot, as well as the things that even we can put it on street pole. Okay, with that, I will try to move to the presentation, but here we will keep a few minutes to summary everything, then we will have a question and answer. Just a moment. Okay. Okay. So I think in today's presentation, we cover everything together, include our 5G global view and some brief quickly for the principle of the 5G and why we need 5G. Then we show you how the vision will be and the network capacity and the traffic increase and the demand in the future, starting from now till 2026, 2027. Then we went through our 5G global use cases and we see how many countries they adopt the 5G technology in order to have a better user experience. And together we went through also our 5G radio solution, and we see the equipment in virtualized way. There is two videos. We just show you the differences between 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and then as well as I pick for you augmented reality for the education and how important we introduce 5G for the new business cases to have a better life. With that, I think we still have a 4 minutes, but I'm ready to hear your questions.
So thank you very much, Dura, for this very interesting overview. And I would invite everybody to come up with the questions, please. So in order to break the ice, I have a question on, you talked about massive MIMO and you showed this air product here, this radio product. Is it correct to did I read it correctly? This has a 32 by 32 MIMO system.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
We have Yeah, we have a product that's supporting 32T32R. We have another product supporting 64T64R. And every product have internal antenna, we call it antenna element, because we are supporting 128 or 192 antenna element inside. Everyone have a different structure for the beam and also number of layers supporting for single user MIMO and multi-user MIMO. And also, if you like more deep dive on specifically for the beamforming and massive MIMO, we can arrange dedicated session because I have something interested for you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, and a follow-up question on what you showed for the radio components. You showed the RAN compute elements or devices and said this is everything to do RAN management, beamforming and stuff like that. My question would be, where would an edge computing component be located? Is it on the RAN compute device or more towards the core network, like integrated in the site system that you also showed in the summary slide?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, usually to support 5G site, we have two components is very important, which is the baseband, as I show you, and then we have the massive MIMO component. Why we call this massive MIMO is active part? Because before the passive equipment, more the processing and the intelligence inside the baseband only. But with the massive MIMO, we move part of the intelligence to be also under the active part. So the cooperation between the baseband and also between the massive MIMO, it's kind of giving good translation how to create a lot of beams and try to serve the network in this call multi-user MIMO beams or even single-user MIMO beams. So here you can see the integration between the baseband and between the air solution together is giving you the massive MIMO component. So the intelligence in both parts because it's active component. While in the previous generation, like LTE, we can see the radio is only responsible for the filtering the frequency and some passive, let us say, passive things, while all the intelligence was on the baseband to support, for example, 44R or 2T2R.
Okay. Any other questions from other people?
Yeah, I
Please.
see a few hands raised.
There are a few hands, so I don't see the hands. Just a moment.
Yeah, we have Hammer, I think.
Yes. Okay, then hand over to Josef first. You mentioned Hammer. Yes.
Hi, thank you very much for the nice presentation. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, thank you.
I have actually the same question as Herman, but I didn't really get the answer yet. So on these baseband RAN compute devices, would it be possible to do some edge computing there, or is it really just for the radio compute?
Okay. I maybe, yes. Okay. I understand you now more because, you know, there is two things that Ericsson doing. First of all, we call it, this is distributed RAN. Distributed RAN, it's mean that you are building this RAN system separately. But there is another solution called centralized RAN. Centralized RAN, which means that we are combining all the baseband or all the intelligence in one component. And now here we are trying to introduce something called SMO, which is Service Management Orchestration. Service Management Orchestration that it can have this artificial intelligence built in, yes, with all the integration things that Open RAN and other, let us say, app or a provider or interfaces to the in-house tool and so on under one component, combined all the processing and the intelligence of the baseband. I hope I just answer your question.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. And if you need more, because we publish white paper for this SMO concept, because the kind of the intelligence and also to be part of the Open RAN alliances, we introduced this new SMO platform I will also make sure to share with you the white paper so you can go through it to check how the intelligence all move to one system orchestration in order to be able to manage every site baseband. Plus, you add more artificial intelligence to monitor the traffic and to try to distribute traffic correctly in every baseband. So it's kind of more high-level intelligence that we added to the network. And I think AT&T and T-Mobile in US, they will be the first to try it. It's just November release.
Okay, I think I can hand over to the next questions, which is, I think, Professor Radu Prodan.
Hello.
Oh, hi, it's nice to see you.
Thank you, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your presentation. I enjoyed it a lot, and especially the slide on, or not the slide, the video on edutainment. It triggered some memories because something like 15 years ago, I managed to get my first European project on, it was called Edutain at Grid. So there was no cloud, it was Grid that time. And we had use cases on video games and on e-learning. And that's why we came with the concept of edutainment. And the big problem in that project was that the companies were very, very reluctant to decentralize the game state, the edutainment process. So we went in the end for a completely centralized solution. The main problem was cheating. Yeah, cheating in gaming and also cheating in teaching. Yeah, students like to cheat or can cheat. And this is my question to you. Do you have some thoughts here, some research on the area of decentralizing edutainment processes, and what is the status now? Because I did not follow up anymore on this area. I would be interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, that's
how it
great.
fits with 5G. 5G needs decentralization.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, thank you for your question. Actually, now we have a special department which they are also trying to cooperate with all another company that they are giving the content, because we have a content and we need also to combine all this content in, let us say, in massive way in order to give very good content to the operator. So actually, it's handled by another team. They are responsible for the 5G use cases. I will try to grab from them some white papers so I can give you more details about that. And as well as, because this two things is combined. You need the tools and you need the content. You need the AR and the VR also glasses, which we can see now a lot of new company, they are trying to release this small light one instead of this big one. Yeah. And as well as the content that it's need to be provided by the operator, but also with the huge data, we call it with the huge storage demand, everything is built on the cloud. So you need to provide a cloud services that you push all the content there. And as well as the operator will be selling not only phones in their store, they will sell also the glasses in order to provide the tools that you can use it. And you can also enjoy the content because everything will be connected to the cloud. So I will try to make sure to get some white papers for you so you can see how the cooperation with those companies, because providing the content plus the latest also in use for the tools that we are going to have it in the future. Because now I think there is latest release of one of the glasses. It's like normal glass. It starts to be like a normal glass, not that very big thick one that you can enjoy and use it, and it's very light.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'd be happy to read your papers, white papers.
Thank you so much.
I suggest, Dura, you send the white paper either directly to me or the links to the papers yes. Or via Alexander, whatever is more convenient for you, I would say.
Absolutely. I will share the presentation, the white papers, and also I make sure to record this session so everybody miss it. They can just replay it again.
That's great.
Yes.
That's very good. Thank you very much. So we have another question by Helmut, Professor Helmut Wöllig, please.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Hello.
Hi, nice to see you. Thank you for your presentation. It was very, very good, very clear. I have a question back to the Mimo, to the Massive Mimo.
Yes.
Is Massive Mimo more available for the millimeter waves? And second, does it only make sense when we want to have massive MIMO when also the handsets, the user equipment has an array of antennas? What do you think? Are there already available massive MIMO in user equipments? And is it only for millimeter waves or also for lower bands?
Yes, thank you for your questions. Yeah, because let me start with the terminal availability, because we know that the terminal cannot handle all the antenna array, because otherwise we need very big terminal, yes, to support that. But actually now with the 5G increase the penetration, also the 5G terminals start to be more available, but with not it's like the same antenna array, but the way that you are receiving the signal with the beamforming functionality, that it can be also not the same receiving antenna, but you can get the maximum from combining all the layers from the network in order to push for you the high throughput. So the idea is not like identical. If I have 32T32R in the antenna side, I should have it in the terminal. No, because the idea that we try to use the way of the TX and RX in order to create a beams, multi-beams. And from this multi-beams, we try to integrate those beams to push as much as possible throughput to your end user terminal, even with less TX and RX support. So that's the idea that we also believe when we have too many users under the side with multi-user MIMO functionality, you will get more throughput rather than you are a single user with single user MIMO.
Okay, that means massive MIMO is always connected to beamforming.
Exactly. So the intelligence that they put in massive MIMO to create the beamforming with single user and multi-user MIMO to integrate as much as possible from the capacity that we need to the normal terminal, that it shouldn't be apple to apple, same TRX and RX of the antenna.
Okay, thank you. And I have a second question, if it's possible. You talked about critical IoT, and I think you always connect this to ultra low latency. But in my feeling, it's not only, well, it's not always necessary to have ultra low latency, but it could be still a critical IoT application. For example, that it don't need low latency, but it needs always a connection, even when one base station breaks down, for example. It could be very, very dangerous if the connection could break down. Is critical IoT also handled in this way, not only for low latency, but also for high, for different connections at the same moment, to different base stations, for example?
100% correct, because the critical IoT is very important. Two things, maybe I didn't describe it well. The low latency, which is very important, and then the what you call it, stable connection, because you shouldn't have any failure or you shouldn't have any disconnection to the network. And with that, there is also a special toolbox. Ericsson introduced a special toolbox, which is the tool that can maintain always the connectivity to the critical IoT, especially if you have an emergency situation, you have one site have been broken or burned or whatever, and how you can maintain the connection even through the emergency connection. So 100%, but it needs to be treated special case by case, because some of them is not that so critical that they need to maintain zero connection. And some of them, it's really crucial, especially if it's like, as we mentioned, if it's something related to government use or some other things that is very important. So we managed to release a new toolbox, Ericsson toolbox, to maintain the connection, a continuous connection with zero failure, even, and then it will have, operator should have it, especially for such a cases.
Okay.
Thank you for a very, very nice question. Thank you so much.
Any other questions from people who have not raised their hands yet? So probably, Tura, I may bring up one additional question. You mentioned Ericsson spectrum sharing, and you had on the slide also the term dual connectivity. Is this different from non-standalone application and deployment, or is this the Ericsson term spectrum sharing for NSA? And as a follow-up, when do you expect standalone applications and standalone deployments to be installed and deployed?
That's an amazing question. Okay, so first of all, let us start with the last one. For the SA, we have almost now 9 cases around the globe for the SA. The issue of the SA that you need more to have a standalone network. It's mean that you are not all the time falling back to the legacy, yes? And the issue for that, it's a little bit, now it's getting to be mature more because we know that the voice is the main obstacle. Because now we have voice over LTE and also we have normal voice that we are doing in 2G and 3G. But with 5G standalone, we should have something called voice over NR. And the voice over NR, we need to make sure that your fallback cannot be to the 2G and the 3G and also a little bit slightly fallback on the 4G, but VoLTE. And so the point here that if you need to build your standalone network, you need to have separated core, that's for sure. You need also to have all the network as a data and voice handled by the standalone. Yep. And as well as at the same time, you need to have 2 kinds of frequency, mid-band or even high band. This is very important, but we know that mid-band and high band can give you not continuous coverage because the coverage is a little bit small. So usually we are suggesting operator to change some low band like 800, 700 to anchor the, let us say, the 5G. So it can give you extension of the coverage because you are relying on this 700, 800 for wider coverage, but it's dual connected to the main 5G in order to give you the throughput. So the kind of way that we try to have a 2-layer. One is wide coverage layer, but it's more coverage to dual connect with your the data to get the data from the mid-band and high band. So in such a way, you will maintain 5G standalone with larger coverage, yes, and with less deployment of the mid-band, because mid-band you cannot deploy it everywhere. Otherwise, you need 25,000 instead of 5,000. And then with this dual connectivity and also the function that we are introducing in order to support 5G standalone with wider coverage and less deployment of the site. Otherwise, you will see the site and the cost for the operator should be really, really high. So this is part of the question. The second part for the ESS. The ESS, we call it Ericsson spectrum sharing. We know a lot of operators currently, they have only FDD band, like 2.1, like 2.6, like 1800, and so on. So still they are hungry or they are pushing the government to release the real 5G frequency, which is TDD mid-band and also high band. Yes? So it's mean that I will give you example because I'm living in Poland. For example, in Poland, the government promised to do the 5G spectrum auction since 1.5 years ago. And then still we are in the process of the auction long time ago, but operators do not want to wait. They need to have this 5G logo. They need to have this 5G capability. So we introduce Ericsson spectrum sharing in order to use the existing FDD band with the same way of sharing the frequency and introducing 5G and 4G together under the same band. So let us assume operator, they have 2.1, yes, the frequency for LTE. So now we are able to deploy 5G on 2.1 with the spectrum sharing methodology. Why we use dynamic spectrum sharing? Because we are not sure that the terminal under the site 100% 5G. And at the same time, if we have more terminal on 4G, so we need to give them more accessibility to this band. So with the spectrum sharing, you will keep share between the 5G and 4G with a certain percentage depending on the terminal availability under the site. But let us remember something very important. The 5G based on the FDD band cannot compare with the mid and high band because it's for sure lower throughput, and the throughput it can be very close to the 4G but with 5G icon. I'm so honest with you.
Okay, I'm still trying to trigger other questions. If you still have time, Tura?
Absolutely. Yes,
That's
please.
great. So if not, I would have a now really final one. Several teams of us are also working on drones and drone swarms to do some missions here. And you also showed in your videos drones, and there was a mentioning of dedicated networks. So I know 3GPP is considering cellular networks 5G or probably 6G for drones. Do you see this happening? I mean, dedicated networks for drone support being developed and probably deployed in the future? Because this must have quite different antenna characteristics, of course, than pointing downwards towards the Earth, towards people. What is your take here on drone support in cellular networks?
That's awesome, because with introducing the 5G, we build different use cases, as you mentioned, for the dedicated network. I think in Ericsson, starting from 2021, even now we have different departments specialized for the dedicated network. I mean, as a solution, because I'm sitting in Poland solution team, yeah. So the idea that we build different network and we build different structure for such kind of services. But later on also, because to be honest, I'm not so specialized in this part, but later on I can also share with you an overview solution, how Ericsson provide the solution, especially for the dedicated network. Because we split the department and we have people specialized with that, and they start to have some cases over all the world. So we start on that, and we have a lot of cases, and we have solution just dedicated for dedicated network. So let me try to take from them overview solution. And if you like also this part, we can invite somebody to give us some deep dive, because if you are working with that, I think it's very interesting to know deeper things rather than some white papers and the presentation.
Yeah, we had some dedicated projects investigating 5G also for drones on port and stuff like that. So there is quite some expertise here. Yeah.
Yeah, and also if you have such things, I think with Alexander, you can discuss with him, because we are doing also cooperation with the universities. And if you have something in the lab, you need to cooperate with Erikson lab to do something, or online testing or some cooperation. It's also, I think, open and available, but you need just to trigger it with Alexander, so he can take you to the second level that you need to cooperate with the Sweden lab.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so I'm done with my questions. Any other questions, comments? Doesn't seem to be the case. Then it's up to me to close, I think. And thank you very much again, Tura, for this very interesting overview and these insights that you gave into Ericsson or 5G in general from the radio perspective. And we look forward to receiving white papers or links, whatever you have on your products, on your solutions, on your developments. And via Alexander, we'll be in contact with all of the Ericsson group, which provides a very interesting insights into what's going on in the industry. We lost Alexander. He had to jump into another meeting, so I think we can close here. And
yes,
thank you again.
I would like to say thank you for hosting me. It's a really great pleasure for me to be with all of you. If you need more details, more deep dive, because I'm also network performance and evolution, so I'm doing a lot of capacity analysis, dimensioning, 3 years network planning, and other things that we can share with you with our internal tool. Yeah, with that, please feel free. You know my email address. Ask me any questions. I hope today's presentation inspire you. It was great for me as well to have all these questions. Thank you, and maybe we will see you soon.
Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Have
a good day.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.